Marvin Harrison Jr. is the long-awaited generational prospect that everyone has been waiting on since Jamar Chase, according to the media. But there's film to assess before we can agree or disagree. He has a ton of positives that are abundantly clear on film. At 6'3", he has a proper weight and good play strength when fighting through contact. The acceleration off the line and long speed are amazing for someone of his size. The level of production was consistent despite having a massive downgrade from CJ Stroud in 2022 to Kyle McCord this year. There are also quite a few negatives that cap his upside. Let's start by looking at his elite movement skills for his size. His release and acceleration are unparalleled in this class, and he is actually faster off the line than Xavier Worthy based on the eye test. His top end speed is quite underrated too, as he clocked a top 10 overall speed amongst all positions at 22.2 miles per hour in week 2. He has effortless leaping ability that is shown on contested catches. As you can see, he has elite acceleration off of the line for any size wide receiver and has underrated deep speed. He moves fluidly on most routes. His next high-end trait is his ability to effortlessly pluck balls away from his frame, which was extremely useful to Kyle McCord at quarterback. This trait prevents him from being the next Quentin Johnston. It does not matter how high it is thrown or if it is way off to the side. If it is in his range, he will catch it. The fact that he had 30 contested catches charted this year and only caught 43% of them may look alarming, but you can see on film it is not his fault. There are a very minimal amount of real drops seen on film that were not caused by poor ball placement. Half of his drops are just in one game also. The low contested catch rate games surprisingly came against irrelevant teams such as Indiana and Rutgers, and he had his best performing games against the best teams in terms of coverage. The next clips are to show his route running, which is everything it is cracked up to be on the media, for the most part. He is not quite Keenan Allen or Amari Cooper entering the league, but there are good traits to work with. If you look at the PFF data on yards per each type of route run, he is the most diverse in the class. For 7 out of the 10 charted route types, he has at least 90 yards. He does lack in screen yards, which is kind of a good thing, and out routes, which appear to be more of a quarterback issue after watching the film. As many of the media do say, he does have excellent technique to set up defensive backs. He is surprisingly good at comeback routes and in-breaking routes for his size, which is an edge he has over Odunze. In this film, you can see the level of diversity in the routes he has. Ohio State is known for producing the most pro-rated receivers due to their coach Brian Hartline. JSN, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, and Terry McLaurin are all examples of this. They all succeed in the NFL. Paris Campbell is the one exception. Now it is time to discuss the negatives. These are more neutral characteristics that we are holding to a top 10 grade. The yards after catch is pretty bad across the board unless he has built up speed. He is tackled immediately and is irrelevant on screen passes. He does lack fire once the ball is in his hands. The same level of energy he has for route running is not there once he catches it. Overall, he does have strong hands on some routes, but will definitely not be mistaken for Odunze. He could stand to be a bit stronger and not be pushed around against more physical cornerbacks. On comeback routes and sideline catches, his catch in traffic is elite, but when he has to fight through contact on other routes, such as in-breaking routes, his hand strength is just okay. His main negative is that he is not a very physical player and can play very passive. It becomes very obvious he has not played with the same level of intensity that Odunze or Nabers do. Defenders can easily play through him at the catch point if they are above average in strength, which you do see in a lot of these videos. Overall, he can do a better job coming back to the quarterback and attacking the ball so defenders cannot play through him. The run blocking is not important for many people, but it is important to note that he lacks effort and power in run blocking. Now let's review his quarterback play. Harrison could have easily had 1,500 yards this season with competent quarterback play. It is why some say he took a step back this year. There are a lot of throws I watched and I wondered what McCord was thinking or that his accuracy was wildly off. Harrison definitely took steps forward this year in his routes and his movement skills, but it's harder to see due to his quarterback play. You can see in a lot of these clips just how off his accuracy is. And these are some of his routes and play with Stroud at quarterback, where everything looks so much more organized and he looks like a different player. The plays look so much more effortless, and the route tree is different because Stroud can actually make all of the throws. Remember, he did actually take major steps forward this year. You can see how much more confidently He runs his routes when he knows where the ball is going to be here. Overall, Harrison is a bit overhyped due to his last name. The track record for second-generation NFL players is surprisingly not very good. Sons of Hall of Famers have a poor track record. Kyle Long, Matthew Slater, and Kellen Winslow Jr. are the only real successes. Harrison is a much better player than all of them entering the league, but it was interesting to look at. I expect him to have a similar career path to Amari Cooper, where he will always be around the 1,100 to 1,200 yards a year range. There's a ton to love about his game. He has strong hands, excellent route running, elite athleticism for his size, and ability to make poor quarterback play always look good. And this should put him in Pro Bowl consideration. The hip stiffness prevents him from running aggressive routes, and his general attitude on the field is just lackadaisical. These combined with his non-existent yards after catch is why he is number 3 for me this year. He lacks the same elite movement skills and fire that the others in this class have. You can pause if you want to read the whole draft profile.